Today I'm sharing 2 breakfast ideas that I have been loving since the weather has gotten a bit colder. Starting the day with a savoury breakfast makes it much easier for me to get enough fibre and protein without overthinking it. We're making a creamy and herby polenta bowl with smoky sausage-style tofu and a warm kale Caesar toast that is just so satisfying. If you're new here, my name is George and I've been a chef for 10 years and I love cooking plant-based food that actually delivers on flavour. I upload at least 1 video a week, so stick around and let's get cooking. First up is the Caesar toast. Using kale as it's currently in season, then we top it with a smoky tofu sort of bacon style and a really nice hazelnut crumb. All these components can be meal prepped, or you can have this as a really nice weekend brunch treat. Let's start by making one of the toppings for our Caesar toast, which is going to be this sort of smoky tofu cubes. So I've got some extra firm tofu here, and I'm just going to cut it into sort of 1 centimeter cubes. Add your tofu to a bowl, we'll then add a little drizzle of oil, and then just give it a quick toss to get it all nice and coated. Then for seasonings, I'm adding smoked paprika, cumin, and granulated garlic. And also a touch of cornflour just to help it get crispy. Also add a good crack of black pepper and a small pinch of salt. We're going to be adding soy sauce later, so don't add too much. And we're just going to mix that up with our hand, or you can toss to coat it. Using extra firm tofu means it's going to have a really nice sort of chew and bite to it, which is going to be really nice on top of the Caesar chickpeas and kale. We'll then heat up a pan and get it really nice and hot, and then add in a drizzle of oil, followed by your tofu. Spread it out so it's all cooking evenly and it's all going to get lovely and crispy. Once the tofu is golden and crispy, we can add in the glaze, which is simply soy sauce and a little maple syrup. And this smoky and sticky tofu will be the perfect contrast against the creamy Caesar sauce.
Poppy, you're meant to eat the crocodile. That doesn't look like eating.
For the Caesar sauce, which is going to coat the chickpeas and kale, we're starting off with some cashews. And these have just been soaking in boiling water for about half an hour to get them nice and soft and easy to blend. Then we're going in with 1 garlic clove. You're welcome to use granulated garlic as well if you want. Then we'll add some lemon juice for a nice bit of freshness to help cut through the sort of fattiness of the cashews. For a similar purpose, but also a little bit of tang, I've got some olive brine. You could also use pickled brine. A touch of Dijon mustard for a little bit of heat and sort of pepperiness. And then a good amount of nutritional yeast. I'm sure you guys know why. It's lovely and cheesy and nutty and just really nice and savory. Nice pinch of salt going in as well. And of course, a good grating of black pepper. And then of course, we're going to add some water so that it does actually blend. I feel like I've been making cashew sauce a lot recently, but it's just such a versatile recipe to use in vegan cooking. Alternatively, you could make a sort of creamy tahini dressing, or you could replace the cashews with some butterbeans. For a really quick crumb to go on top, kind of like a parmesan vibe, I'm going to add some roasted hazelnuts, some nutritional yeast again. I think my body is now about 50% nutritional yeast. That's all good because it's really healthy. A couple dried herbs. I'm going to add some oregano and some dried thyme. And that's literally it. We'll add a nice pinch of salt as well. And we'll just give that a quick blend. And that's going to be a really tasty, crunchy topping. I've been really careful not to over blend it because I want a bit of texture in there. And that's a really nice, simple alternative to Parmesan. Really lovely and nutritious as well. Okay, it is time to bring this delicious breakfast to life. We're going to add a big old handful of kale to a pan. I've just posted my quarterly recipe PDF on my Patreon page, and it has over 50 recipes in one PDF. It's available for purchase, or if you want to support the channel further, it's included in the Earthy Goodness Insider membership. You can scan this QR code, or there'll be a link in the comment section. And I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone supporting me on my Patreon page. So let's get back to the cooking. A few handfuls, I would say actually. Then a splash of water, and we'll pop a lid on top and let that steam for a few minutes. Okay, that's had a couple minutes, and I'm going to take the lid off and let the water evaporate. Once most of the water has evaporated, we're going to add in some chickpeas, lovely nutty and creamy. I'm just going to lightly crush them with a fork. This is to help them actually stay on the toast, or else they might just roll off. Don't have to go too crazy though, a few whole ones is fine. That's looking good. If you're not a fan of chickpeas or you just want to use something different, you could use some vegan chicken, some lentils, or some butterbeans. We'll then add in the Caesar sauce, just as much as you need. I just got Caesar sauce all over my camera, so that's fun. Sort that out afterwards. You can give it a taste now and adjust the seasoning as well. I want it really nice and creamy. Okay, I think that's ready for a really nice bit of crusty sourdough. I'm having this on toast, but it would also be great just with some grains on the side, like some quinoa, or with some crispy potatoes. This is honestly one of my favorite savory breakfasts. Not only is it delicious, but it's packed full of nutrients. You've got protein in the tofu and the chickpeas. You've got healthy fats coming from the cashews. You've got lots of fiber from the wholemeal bread, the chickpeas and the kale, and then just a ton of vitamins and minerals from nutritional yeast, the kale, just pretty much all of it. Really nutritious and just incredibly delicious. Give it a go. Next, we're using polenta to create a delicious breakfast bowl. Now, polenta, it can be quite bland, so seasoning it properly is really essential. We're also pairing it with a lovely spiced tofu and veggies, so it really is a nice hearty breakfast. So the polenta is really simple. We're just going to heat up our liquids. I'm using vegetable stock and soy milk. I'd usually do this in a saucepan, but it's easier to show you guys in this sort of frying pan. And to this, I'm going to add a little bit of sage, some dried thyme, also going to add a bay leaf. You can add any herbs that you like. I'm also going to zest in some nutmeg. It's going to make the polenta really lovely and spiced and warming, perfect for winter. And then once that's simmering, you want to slowly add in your polenta. You don't want to sort of dump it all in at the same time, or else it's going to be very lumpy, and that's not what you want. So always keep an eye on your polenta, give it a stir every now and again. You may need to add more liquid if it dries out a little bit. And we'll cook this until it's no longer grainy, and then we'll add a couple more seasonings. So I would usually cook it in a saucepan like so, and we'll put a lid on top. That's going to stop it from splattering anywhere and just make sure it cooks nice and evenly. Okay, now that the polenta is going, we're going to get started on the tofu. I've got some extra firm tofu here that I've just crumbled up. Very roughly, don't worry too much about the size of the pieces. And I'm just going to add that to a hot pan, just to one side though. I've then got these amazing oyster mushroom clusters that we're going to add to the pan, just onto the other side. Got a couple then, and we've got it over a nice high heat. And we'll just let this cook untouched so it gets a nice bit of caramelization and color on it, both on the tofu and the mushrooms. There's lots of moisture in the mushrooms and the tofu that we want to get rid of. And I'm just going to press down on these mushrooms. If you want, you can get a pan and place it on top of the mushrooms. And then you put a tea towel into the pan and just press down really hard. And that's going to extract the moisture from the mushrooms. This technique of cooking the mushrooms is inspired by Derek Sarno, a very good plant-based chef who's also on YouTube. I'm sure most of you guys are already subscribed to him, but I'll link his channel in the description box just in case you're not. So they should be starting to get some color on them. There we go, nice. A little bit of browning going on, that's what we like to see. Hopefully a little toss as well. I'm also going to add some cherry tomatoes. Make a space in the pan and then just pop them in there, and they're going to get nice and charred at the back. Everything's looking really nice and colored now, so we're going to add some seasoning to the tofu. I've got smoked paprika, granulated garlic, thyme and sage. Also adding some ground fennel, which is a classic and sort of Italian sausage, and just mix that through. And soy glaze again, like with the tofu before. And then once that is nice and sticky and glazed and completely evaporated, we'll turn the heat off. And there you go, you've got beautifully caramelized mushrooms, charred cherry tomatoes, and that really lovely spiced tofu ready to go on the polenta. Polenta is often cooked in northern Italy, and it's often laced with cheese and butter. But for our vegan version, we're going to be using nutritional yeast and perhaps a little bit of vegan butter. It's often served with sausage stew, hence why we're serving it with this sausage-style tofu, seasoned heavily with fennel and black pepper. Okay, so this has been cooking for about 30 minutes now. It's lovely and thick and creamy. It just needs a little bit of extra seasoning. So I'm going to add some nutritional yeast, a nice pinch of salt, and if you want it to be really creamy and indulgent, a little vegan butter. And then last but not least, a good grade of black pepper. Polenta can take a lot of seasoning. Mix that through, and once the butter's melted, we'll serve up. This is definitely something you'd want to meal prep because it does take a while to cook, or you can get instant polenta, which literally takes around 10 minutes. Wow, that is so good. If you've never tried polenta before, definitely give it a go. It just needs some really good seasoning, lots of salt and pepper, and it's absolutely delicious, creamy, herby, and really comforting. And then pair it with some caramelized mushrooms, some juicy roast tomatoes, and then that crumbled tofu. It's got really nice little crispy bits, chewy bits, and it's really nicely spiced. Give this a go and let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. For some more breakfast inspiration, have a look at this video.